lamb, like they can't wait a couple of hours to go for lamb. So I would say to you, if you have a goal for Holy Week, it would be to prepare yourself so that you can stay through the services of Holy Saturday. It's not that late. We stay out a lot later than that. By 2 o'clock, we're finished. You will have received Holy Communion. You will have chanted Christ is risen with the entire Christos Anesti with everyone. And trust me, your life will be different. So I repeat, and then I want to open it up to some questions you have. We cannot see God in others, and we cannot see God in even the most difficult situations in our life if God is not within us. Remember what my papu said. Remember. You're pointing at someone else, you have 3 fingers pointing back at you. So don't be so willing to criticize. You have to look at ourselves first to see who we are and what kind of person we are. So, questions, I have plenty of things I can talk about, but if you have questions, any questions? Yes, Juanita. The translations, different translations. Yeah. Okay, that's a good question. What Bible do we use? If you look in your pews, you'll see the Bible. It's this one. It's the Orthodox Study Bible. It is the closest to the original translation. Remember that the church that you and I have the privilege to be a part of is the church that created this Bible. Now, they didn't write it, but they chose the books that are in the Bible, because prior to that, they were all different letters and messages, and the churches came together, and in 325 AD, they made a decision as to what would be in here. What is the truth, and what is not the truth? What is sort of folklore? And they pushed it out, and they created this one. So, this is the one. This is the Bible that we use, okay? Now, this group has also put out an Old Testament and New Testament together. There are great references in here. There are wonderful prayers in here. All these copies were given to us. These were a gift by Drs. Anthony and Joyce Kales, so that we have them throughout the parish. So when everyone comes into the church, they can read through them and just be a part of it. So this is the book that we use, the Orthodox Study Bible, the closest translation. There are many translations. There's the Living Bible, which takes a lot of freedom, a lot of, what would the word be? License to change things. You say, well, it doesn't sound right, he or she. It should be it. God shouldn't be referred to as he. He shouldn't be referred to as she, because some feminists and some liberals might get upset, so let's call it it. That's insanity. Truth is truth. We have to get off this political correctness because we might offend somebody. Truth is truth. Falsehood is falsehood. That's all it is. So the Bible is the Bible. And if you read the Bible, but remind yourselves that you cannot cherry pick the Bible. You cannot say, oh, this one phrase means this, because that phrase, that verse, is written with a verse before it and a verse after it, so we can understand it. You have to be very, very careful. There are a lot of translations that take tremendous liberty and confuse a lot of people. Okay? Yes, you have a follow-up, I can see. That's close enough. That's very close. King James. Yes, they are. They are available in the bookstore. Okay? Yeah, you're welcome. Other questions you have about faith? Yes, Peter. Sure. The Triodion is a period of time before Great Lent. It prepares us. It sets up each Sunday different themes. The primary purpose of Triodion, or that road that is created, is there so that it says, okay, we've finished with Epiphany. We have the presentation of our Lord into the temple on Ipapandi on February 2nd. Now we have to prepare ourselves for Great and Holy Lent. So let's set up a series of discussions, a series of pericopes, of parts of the epistles and gospels, so that people will begin to start thinking about their own salvation. That's the primary purpose. It's actually a purposeful shift into that mode. Now, once you get into Lent, it's full blast. But this is sort of, okay, take the people out of their doldrum and kind of shake them up a little bit and move them forward. You know, the church is not here to punish you through fasting and hard rules. The church is here to kind of hit us on the head once in a while and say, okay, how can I help you? What can I do to bring you closer to God? I know what you're going through. I know how difficult life is. But I'm here to bring you closer. And that's the purpose of what we do. I hope that helps you. Okay. Other questions? Other questions about faith? Yes, Gary. Mm-hmm. That's a good question. That's a good question. The liturgy we celebrate today is not the liturgy of St. John Chrysostom that we will celebrate most of the Sundays. It is the liturgy of St. Basil the Great. Why it's only done 10 times a year, I couldn't tell you precisely. I could not tell you the precise reason why, but I do know there, if you'll listen carefully, you can hear, because of this kolokiti that we wear the microphone, you can hear the prayers that we're reading. They are longer prayers, and some people get upset. They say, why is the liturgy so long, Father? They even want to cut the liturgy down. But when you go to see a movie, you wouldn't dare say to the director, would you please cut out that scene, because I don't like it, right? But the church, we do that. So, St. Basil the Great is another way, again, another step up. And we don't have books for you for the St. Basil liturgy. Hopefully someday we'll get them, so that when we do the liturgy during Great Lent, we'll shift the books from these books here of St. John Chrysostom to St. Basil the Great. Some people have them, okay? But it's precisely why I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you precisely why. Other questions? Yeah. Other questions? Thekla, what time is it? You know? 10:18? Good. Couple more questions. More questions. I can keep going if you want. Yes, George?
I'm not going to give up until you say one rule at a time in terms of the camp run amok.
Okay. All right. George is concerned about Camp Run Amok, what that means. And that's really a General Assembly question, but I'll take it today. When we depart, when we come for Holy Communion, we like it to be with sirah, with order. So we purposely put in these aisles, purposely, so that when you come here, you would wait until the next person and the next row and the next row and the next row. If you all come out at the same time, it wreaks havoc into the system and it takes longer. And when you come out after receiving your andidron and you go this way, you cut right through the line and it's a disaster. That's why this kolokiti is here, like this. This goes like this, very practical, so that you'll go that way and you'll go out the front door and you'll go around. It's not done again to punish you. It's so that we have good order, and especially at the end with andidron. This comes in tremendously helpful during when? Holy Week. Okay. How many of you know the Lamentations? The Lamentations. You know what the Lamentations are? The Greek word is engomia. Engomia. Okay. This year, next week by the way, on Saturday of Lazarus, we're going to have our parish retreat where people will come. We're going to do an Orthodox Jeopardy. We have a lot of fun with that. We learned a lot that day. But we're also going to practice the engomia. We want you to join the choir as they sing the engomia. And we're going to have a book for you where it will be in Greek phonetics, and then in English. We're going to do half of them in Greek and half of them in English. And the choir is going to lead. You'll have a book, and I hope that you will sing along with the choir. Many of you can sing, but you're kind of shy. I've heard you speak outside, though. You're not shy. But in church, all of a sudden, you become shy. So I hope that you'll join the choir when they sing the Lamentations. Other questions? Any other questions you have? Yes, Molly. Malama, rather. Friday night. Friday night. Saturday, we're going to practice them. We're going to practice them. That's the retreat. That's okay. It's a week before. We're going to practice them. Practice them. Practice them. Week before. And the nice part about it is this translation has been written in a metered English. So you won't be jumping all over and not knowing how to find it and all that. It's done very well by a monk from Mount Athos, whom I remember signing his entry papers when I was in the admissions office. He spent 16 years on the Holy Mountain and has now returned. And he's done some remarkable work in metered translation. So I think you'll enjoy that. So I hope and I pray that this week you'll prepare yourself, that you will rest, that you will fast, that you will find the time to do some almsgiving. Almsgiving is giving to someone who doesn't have, from what you have, not from what you have left over, but giving where giving hurts. That's what almsgiving is. Giving where giving hurts. Okay? And that you will prepare yourself so that Holy Week, our church will be filled, and you will bring your family, and that together as one community, we will celebrate the resurrection of our Lord. Elias, did you have a hand up? Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Elias's concern is about change. There's a lot of change. And I'm going to speak about it actually on next Sunday. Next Sunday, I had written a sermon for like 3 or 4 months. I had been writing and writing and writing, and seeing a couple of things going on, and especially what happened on in Boston, I threw it out. And I restarted it again. And I'm going to speak precisely about that issue of change versus truth. It's very difficult we cannot live in a police state. I think we can understand that, where we can dictate everything that goes on. Nor can we run to a mountain somewhere and hope that we're going to find peace and salvation there. And detract ourselves from everything of the world, and we don't have to deal with it. We have to live in this world. We have to be in the world. The only thing we can do as fellow citizens and as fellow Orthodox Christians is to live our life as close to the truth as possible in the hope that we will inspire others. How God will judge us, I don't know that. But I do know that I am responsible, you're responsible, Thekla's responsible, Ivan's responsible, Juanita's responsible for her own existence before Christ. My judgment will be far more severe than yours because I know more and I'm supposed to live more like the faith. And many times I don't succeed. But I do know that I have a loving Lord and I can go back and I can change and I can become a better person. Now, people have to realize, for example, you use dress, for example. People coming into church, how are they dressed? I get hit with that all the time. I'll just give you a brief, I'm running way over. What time is it? Okay, just give me 2 minutes. I'll give you an example. We went to a retreat a couple of years ago in Naples, and it was a Goya retreat. So we went to the Goya retreat, and we tell the Goyans, because that day they were on water slides, and we tell the girls that we want them to wear, some of them wear two-piece bathing suits. So we said, please, if you're going to wear a two-piece bathing suit, wear a shirt over it, okay? And we tell the guys the same things. You can't wear Speedos, you can't do this, you can't do that. Okay. For that purpose. I mean, if they're swimming and they're in the swimming contest, that's another story. So a mother comes up, and she brings her daughter. And the daughter has her midriff showing. And Father Spiro was then Spiro. He wasn't the priest then. He was an assistant. And he calls her over and he says, young lady, you're not dressed appropriately. You have to wear a shirt. And she said, oh, why? Is that a problem? Well, you saw the rules. These were the rules. We did this purposely so everybody will be in the same. Then the mother comes over. And the mother looks at Father Spiro, and says, what's wrong with you? Why are you looking at my daughter? See the perversion? Immediate perversion of the thought. And I said to Spiro, I said, come here, Father Spiro. So I pulled him aside and we talked. I said, all you have to do is look at the mother. And the mother had her midriff showing. Okay? So if the mother is doing that, do we expect different from the child? We don't. Again, I go back to we must live our lives as closely to Christ as we can. We are not perfect. We're trying to become perfect. This is a hospital. This is a place where we come to become better people. We don't walk in the door perfected. Example. Saint Raphael, which was given anonymously, is now on the wall. He was given anonymously in memory of your Yaya, of Maria. He is there now to watch us as we come in and bless us, and he's there to bless us as we leave. He's there to be a constant reminder of what Maria was to you and to her entire family. That's what these saints are for. The saints are here to remind us that we are not alone, that we do have people with us in high places, powerful people with connection to Christ. A greater dynamic, a greater strength has no kingdom here on earth than that kingdom which is in heaven. I hope that answers your question. Let's continue with the doxology. Kalimera, Dmitri.